So look, that we wrapped up uh, BC. Let's get into Vandy. We're finally here. You know what I mean? A team that is coming off of a game. They lost to Georgia State. It's not a good look, but now it's a wounded duck, or I guess not sorry, a wounded duck, a wounded dog. Like I'm hurt, but I'm still dangerous. Like Mac has always said, man, what conference play is gonna be tough. I don't care who
Yeah.
that team is. So what do we need to see from Mizzou versus Vandy? Can this be like a statement game, or how do we prepare for this game, knowing that after that we got Texas A&M that's got a little buzz going? How do you prepare for Vandy?
I think I think the big thing now is we now entering conference play as being the hunted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like last year we did a lot of hunting, right? And I think there's now teams within the SEC that are looking at us like a Vandy looking at us like, yo, if we knock off Mizzou, like
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be our that could save our coach. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's
wow.
now things like that. So
Yeah.
now it's all about, okay, how do we go out there and take care of business anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, what I want to see is I want to see the down the field passing game get going, right? I want to see number two flying into the end zone. I want to see number three flying into the end zone. I want to see Theo winning 30, 35 yard, 40 yard, 50-50 balls. Like I want to be able to see
Hmm.
that now. And I think that that's the one part that we haven't been able to do consistently yet this year. And they call 50-50 balls for a reason, but we're not even winning 50% of them, right? So now I want to see us be able to do that and kind of get that part of our game going because I feel like, you know, eventually, right, when you have situations like that and you're in the game against, you know, Bama at Bama and you get these opportunities, man, like they don't come very often.
No, they
So you
don't.
got to have some success doing it now before you get into those games because I think we're gonna need those. We're gonna need some explosives, man, to beat those teams. I don't think like you look at last night. I believe Kentucky. Look at Kentucky and Georgia, right? There's no easy games in the SEC. We know that.
Number one
Kentucky
versus
never had
number
any
one.
explosive plays. So eventually, right, like a team like Georgia, like eventually, man, you gotta bust the game. You gotta go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 22,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do something because you know that other team down from Athens ain't going. They
No.
gonna figure something out, and that's what makes them number one team in the nation.
Hmm.
So we're gonna have to hit on some of those plays.
Spoon, how do we get back to that hunger that we saw in our first uh, two games? How do we get back to that hunger versus Vandy, where we're for defense, where we're showing like, hey, there's no mercy here?
Man, it's this fun thing about putting the tape on for me. When you
Okay.
put the tape on and you're studying the other opponent and you see, what makes their engine go, and then you
Mm-hmm.
envision, your role in your defense and how you can impact that. That just does it all for me, man. If the defense
Okay.
goes into their meeting room and just take their assignment and they go through the motions with it. Just we're gonna do the walkthrough. You got to put your special sauce on it. And it's the SEC,
Mm-hmm.
and that special sauce is just like those plays where we're looking at down the field where we're using our speed against a guy that probably can't run with us on defense. We're making sure we're high pointing the ball over a guy
Mm-hmm.
that maybe is not good at high pointing the ball. Just doing that extra that's going to get you, over the top. I think ultimately it's going to stop with stopping the run. It's the SEC. Their
Yeah.
quarterback Diego Pavia. He looked like
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel a couple weeks ago when I seen him play. I mean, they
Yeah,
scored 32 points in this
Yeah.
past game against Georgia State on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Vandy's been known to score points like that.
They
They kind
haven't
of
been that kind of team.
when
Yeah.
they win, it's kind of like that SEC dirty, you know, kick the field
17,
goal at the
14.
end of the
Yeah.
game, running off, no touchdowns, maybe like they played you tough.
Mm-hmm.
Had some players
Mm-hmm.
that made some plays, but I think when we get out there, we got to come with that mindset that that we're at home and we don't got nothing to
Mm-hmm.
play for next week. We win, we automatically win next week. We get a bye before we got to go to A&M. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go ahead and put it all on the line. We get healthy over the bye, take care of our business, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're not overlooking this one by no means. So let's go out, do what we do, bring the energy, and let Brady and the guys cook. And I think we'll get a chance to see those plays down the field with our athletes
Mm-hmm.
running past their athletes. And that ultimately, that's going to be a great sign for the Tigers because that means you're in midseason form. When you're in midseason form,
yeah.
can't nobody mess with the machine when it's in midseason form.
Mac, is this the week that we get those plays? I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
If you go back to this game last year, I think both Luther and Theo were over 100 plus,
Mm,
making plays all over the field.
hmm.
I think it was 38-21, 38-17, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I think it is, man, and I think they're gonna, put a big emphasis on that because just like we're talking about it, I'm sure they're talking about it. I'm sure Kirby's talking about it, Drink's talking
Hmm.
about it. Hey, how can we create these explosive plays down the field? Yeah, couple catch and runs, but I'm talking about the ball
Yeah,
traveling
we
35, 40 yards in the air.
we
You know what I
we
mean?
looking
Like,
bad. We looking bad like down the field right now. Like Luther
yeah,
Yeah.
showed us a little something. Mookie can
yeah,
obviously catch it and go. The guys
Yeah.
catch it. They catch it real short and get gone.
yeah.
But it's just something about seeing it go over their head, man. It's just
Man,
everybody watching that ball and end up right where it's supposed to be.
it can be a
And
little demoralizing. Yeah.
it just eventually, man, it just, that's what separates offenses, man. Like in college, that's what
Hmm.
separates offenses. Look at what Texas just did the other day, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? With both quarterbacks, right? So I think that's just kind of what separates it. And then kind of going back on what you talk about, complimentary football,
Hmm.
I think that's the tale of a really, really good football team. So
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
if you look at Georgia, you look at
Hmm.
Texas, right? You look at, I'm going to put us right there, right?
Hmm.
You look at,
No doubt.
Oregon. Oregon defense played extremely well, in a rivalry game this past
Hmm.
Saturday.
Hmm.
So like, you look at all these teams, man. Like, look what Miami's doing right now. Like, they're doing it on both
Yeah.
sides of the ball. So like, being able to be, you know, both sides of the ball feeding off of each other, and then also like you said, man, like nobody's wavering, right? Okay, you get
Hmm.
scored on. Okay, here we go. It's our turn to go out here and make something happen. Hey, defense has
Hmm.
got a big stop. Okay, let's go out here and make something happen. Give them a little more cushion, right? Being able
Hmm.
to play off each other, man, is huge.
So now we're in conference play. How does the intensity change? Or do we just say this is business as usual?
Man, like it kind of goes back to what I said about us having a bye week. We might need to
Hmm.
get a little. We might need to get down and dirty at practice this week. We
Okay.
maybe need some tackling periods, some things like that, just to keep the edge because
Yeah.
this is the SEC, and
Hmm.
we have lofty goals, man. As a football team, even as fans of the football team, I mean, everybody's
Hmm.
feeling. That's why we're discussing these guys like in the
Hmm.
same talks, with Texas and Oregon, these explosive teams
Georgia. Yeah.
because we know what we can do. We know what
Hmm.
athletes we have. I mean, it's a different landscape, man. I watched that Georgia and Kentucky game and just see the
Hmm.
physicality of the
Yeah, man.
athletes, man. I mean, these are some men out there lining
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, Kentucky's running backs were running the ball so hard. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
just couldn't do
man.
Yeah.
nothing but tip my hat to them because I mean, it was the mentality that they had, and you could see it on their defense
Hmm.
as well, just attacking.
Hmm.
But I think we have those type of guys, man, and I've seen flashes, and I think against Vandy it'd be a great opportunity for us to go out and just kind of put it all together, and then sit back
Yeah.
for a week and watch everybody else play while we win, and then come back that next week down to Kyle Field. Man,
Hmm.
Kyle Field,
Yeah.
whew, hey,
It's gonna
it's
be a
gonna
good
be
time.
lit.
It's gonna be a good time. So we are number 7 in the country right now. Dropped a spot. I think it was Tennessee that jumped us. Maybe
Yeah.
Tennessee's playing great ball.
Oh
So
man,
I'm not necessarily mad at that. And we had a close win. You know what I mean? We did. I think against a team where I think we all expected us to kind of put it on them a little bit.
man,
A ranked team, but I think
Yo,
we all thought, yeah,
I said that was one of my circle games because I
you
knew
did circle that game. Yeah.
that was one of my circle games, man. Like that. That's a good football team, dude. Like
Hmm.
I'm trying to tell everybody, wait till the dust settles, right? When we sit
Hmm.
up here and we're week 11, week 12,
Hmm.
wait till the dust settles.
See how BC's looking in.
Yeah, see how they
I
looking
agree.
at.
I agree.
Okay.
That's why I feel like when you said we dropped, I was like, wow. I'm
Hmm.
not sure who Tennessee played, but
They beat Kent State 70 to
Yeah,
nothing.
it was something
you scored
crazy.
60 in the first
Yeah.
half. You just got to move up in rankings, I guess. You just, I mean,
Yeah, like that's the benchmark. All right, so we got Vandy. Let's hear about some of the predictions. Um, I'm
mm,
gonna go with I'm gonna say J Max. Start us off with your prediction. What's
mm.
what's the score?
Ooh, I'm gonna go 41-17. Good guys.
Oh, he got us putting it together. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, what about you?
41-17. Good guys.
I like 42-7.
Ooh,
42-7. No
what's
field goals.
next?
No field goals.
Man, now I feel crazy. All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 35-10. 35-10. I think. like J Max said, you for Vandy, you have something. You're chasing the big dog, right? You're trying to knock somebody off their high horse. And I think they show up early. I think we outlast them. I think we kind of put on them like throughout the course of the game. But I think early on, I might be on the front of my seat for this game. So 35-10 is my prediction
Hey,
there.
until we go to Alabama, if your quarterback is leading your team in rushing right now, I'm not seeing
Ain't gonna
Missouri.
cut it.
That's a
Ain't
good
gonna
That's
cut
point.
it.
not going to cut it with that Corey
Ain't gonna
Flag
cut it.
chasing you sideline to sideline. He got a
Yeah,
sack on Castellanos, and nobody even in the stadium even knew it's a sack. It's just Castellanos running out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage because the speed was evident. And
yeah.
I
And
like that against
Vandy's
those running
quarterback
quarterbacks.
is
So
leading.
if we
Yeah.
hit Diego Pavia early and show him
Mhm.
that we come into play, I feel like he's going to give us the ball.
I like it, man. I like it. Look, looking forward to it next week, man. Once again, always good to get down with my brothers, man. True Sons, Players Lounge. Once again, we're out. Have a good night, fellas.